Hey, we're looking forward to having you at that next year. I hope it'll be an awesome thing. I want to say thanks to Justin and Carlos for today matters because we're talking about stuff that hits our heart, and we can't lead until we get stuff with our heart straight. Sometimes we need our eyes open to a few things. Diane and I were over at a place we have in Lake of the Ozarks. We had our two dogs, a pug and a Maltipoo. The Maltipoo really doesn't count as a dog officially. And they were in the lake with us, and we went swimming. And Diane wanted to get out of the water and wash the dogs off, rinse them off. She took their collars off because wanted them to dry out. We're in bed. We made the stupid mistake of allowing our dogs to sleep in our bed with us. The pug snores louder than anybody you've ever heard, and the Maltipoo growls at me when I move. And so the little white dog, the Maltipoo, loves Diane and stays with her wherever she is, except when there's a thunderstorm. When there's a thunderstorm, sucks right up next to me. So it's the middle of the night. I'm at that point in life now where somewhere around 2 or 3 in the morning, if I'm not already up, I need to make a restroom break. We're going to give you one here in just a minute. And you know, when you get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, you do your very best to stay at a barely conscious level. You don't actually want to wake up. You just need to use the restroom. And so I'm standing in the restroom, thunderclap, lightning bolt. I don't hear that our little Maltipoo, Charlie, had jumped off the bed, followed me into the bathroom. Boom! Clash of thunder. He licked my leg. And what you think happened did. Whoa! I'm like, and you can be awake when you're cleaning the bathroom up for 30 minutes afterwards. Just want you to know. I want you to reach right back here in the back of your head. There's a soft spot right there, right below your skull. Okay, don't press too hard. You'll pass out. But there's a bundle of nerves there called the reticular activator. And that bundle of nerves filters all kinds of stuff for you. In fact, we hear so many messages a day. There's so much going on. There is so much noise hitting us that without that bundle of nerves, you would be overwhelmed. It would freak you out. It would stress you out. And so your brain shuts a lot of those windows down. But what happens is something opens our eyes in a way we didn't see. For example, you buy a new car. You think you've got the coolest car in the planet. You've never seen another car. It's got a cool color. And every car you see after you drive off that parking lot, that car. You get some new jacket that you think is just awesome or cool, or some new shoes that you think are great. And you think, man, nobody's got these. And then you walk around and everybody you know is wearing that jacket. Why? Because what happened was a window got opened for you, and now you're seeing things that actually were there before. You just didn't see them. One of the hopes we have for us with Spire is simply to provide a way for our tribe to connect together. Key objectives for this network, really, that we sat down with and talked about was we want to encourage younger leaders. And man, we are so excited that you're here, and we want to continue to pour into you and drive into you, because we all recall those days when we were like leaning in and coming out, and how risky those days are and how challenging those days are. We want to help with some pastor health stuff because the stats for us are terrible. We want to do kingdom innovation and impact, the opportunity for us to connect and collaborate and to work together. We want to help mentoring and connecting, and we want to help do that as we have this shared passion to stay rooted in Scripture and under the authority of Jesus. The heart for this isn't that Spire drives anything. It just facilitates what's already happening among us. Look at some of these stats about church leaders. This came out of Barna's stuff. And, you know, it's not the healthiest job on the planet. Some of the stuff that we just heard from Carlos and Justin were about that stuff that goes on in our hearts. I was about 10 years into what ended up being, shockingly to me, a 28-year run that had just finished at LifeBridge. And 10 years in, we were blowing and going, and things were happening, and man, my life was good, my family was good, all the stuff I was doing outside of our church was working, the church was really healthy, and I was walking around with a bit of a low-grade fever, and I couldn't figure it out, and John Walker, who ran Blessings Ranch and is part of our tribe, was going to speak today, but got some health stuff, so we'll be praying for John. He's spoken into so many of our lives, and he was a part of our church in Colorado, and I was having lunch with him, and he said something to me, and I don't know what he said, but I got all teary, and then I did the quick recovery thing, right? Like, boom, I'm like, okay with this, and we walked out, and outside John said, hey, you know, I know that when your bucket's full, you don't have to kick it very hard for stuff to spill out. And man, your bucket seems full, and we're good friends, but if you ever want to come spend some time at the ranch, well, man, on Saturday nights at LifeBridge, I'd see some of us sitting out there, and at first I thought, oh, people were coming to visit church, and I realized they were coming to visit John. Then I started doing this. I wonder why they're here, actually. I wonder what they're seeing John about. Did they do blah, 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 whatever that is. And I didn't know they'd see John. But I said something to a friend, and he said, you should do it. And I said something to Diane, and she said, you should do it. And I said something to somebody in our church, and they said, you should do it. So there's a saying in Texas, you know, if one person calls you a horse's butt, ignore them. If two people call you that, look in the mirror. If three people call you that, buy the saddle. So I bought the saddle, and I went up to see John, and I'm sitting up there and talking to him, and we're chatting. And then he finally says, would you just shut up and listen? I said, okay. I stopped talking. Waited. I said, I'm listening, John. He said, man, don't listen to me, you idiot. Listen to you. And in that moment, I have no idea what happened. But this overwhelming flood hit me. As I worked through that with John, here's what he said. At the end of all of that, he said, you know, and I listen to you talk about grace, and you're really good at that. And I watch you extend grace, and you're really good at that. And I watch how you unpack grace and build a place of grace at LifeBridge, and you're really good at that. And you are terrible. You are terrible at allowing grace to flow in your own life and for you to cut yourself any grace. And you know what would have happened to me at that 10-year spot when things were going really well? I would have ended up leaving LifeBridge and maybe going to some other church, doing something else, plugging into a different thing, and not knowing that I was trying to drive this train with my own steam and my own energy and my own power. And so why are we doing Spire? Because we need this. I need so many of you in this room who've helped me along the way. I need others who can speak in. I want someone to help challenge the way I'm thinking. I want to hear stuff that we just heard this morning about what do we trust in, what do we drive into. And so at Spire, we simply want to build out a network of solutions for us. An opportunity for us to if we need great resources, if we need mentors, if we need encouraging, if we need help, if we need a place to innovate, if we need a place where we can bring our best stuff and contribute, if we just want to build a place, a platform where we get to connect together and drive and to bring value to leaders and what we're doing in there. And I think to be an advancing leader, we stay connected to God, but then there's those practical things that are happening, and we want to help encourage that and foster that. We want to be of value to the local church. How do we help things happen so that we know what we're paying attention to? Are we opening our eyes? Are we seeing some of the things? Do some windows get open for us that we didn't realize, the opportunities that exist for us? That we just want to be a place that we help connect, kind of a true marketplace network, where there's contribution and connection and collaboration that happens. And so we want to invite you in and be a part of that. So again, I want to encourage you to catch this number. Just text Spire to it or hit the QR code. Get signed up on the platform. It's free. There's opportunity for us. We're in beta, as we talked about. We need 1,000 of us. And you need to be piling your stuff in. And we're going to learn and grow and develop because we think we do better together. We think we're better together. And just want to encourage you to be a part of that. And I hope downstream for us that the conference ends up being just the smallest part of what we're doing. But that we go from attending a conference to having a continuing conversation. Because I know back at that spot for me, well, John helped me. It was my friends who kept blessing and encouraging me and pushing me. And God works when we work together. And so I'm looking forward to how all this unpacks for us. And so we want you to sign up for Spire Conference next year. All the technical stuff, if you've downloaded the app, you can go on and register. You're going to get the lowest possible cost. We're going to be back here in this facility again next year, and then we'll see where it goes after that. This place has been great to us because it's provided a way to be under one roof and do some things. So grab the app, just in the App Store, SpireCon, and you'll get plugged into there. And then I want to encourage you to some things we're going to do. We're going to try something after the first of the year. We're going to do a Top Golf event. They're working with us, and it's in the back of the magazine that had all the articles from all the speakers in it that you got on the first night. And so in the back of that, there's 4 days, January, February, March, April. We're going to be in 5 cities at Top Golf on those days. And we're just going to invite you to come and hang out, have lunch golf. We'll have some people in to talk and give some practical stuff to us. But we'll just have a good time connecting together. There's just some things like that we want to do together to help us link up. And so get the Spire app and get on that and help us use it. I hope you plug into Glue and the platform solutions they're providing for our church. And again, if you're interested in just taking a look at what the Glue is doing, and we're grateful for their partnership with us, you get that discount that's only good through the conference. For you to agree to want to take a look at it in the next 30 days, I think there's some real tools that can help us be better as leaders. And we simply want to encourage you and bless you. And I'm so grateful that you took a chance with us this week and plugged in.